3, 2, 1, go!
Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, it's the Sandalwood Swarm taking on the Lumiose Lightning here today. I'm KingNido, look forward to this matchup. Let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win, as the Lumiose Lightning start out with Arctozolt and Electabuzz, whereas it's Golisopod and Sizzle starting out for the Sandalwood Swarm. It'll be the special defense of Sandalwood Swarm taking on the special attack of the Lumiose Lightning, as a freeze dry immediately from Electabuzz is not very effective on Sizzle, who responds with a Dark Pulse onto the electric type. Much better hit. As Arctozolt goes for the Heal Pulse, this is going to do wonders for Sizzle. It should take it back, and it does, to full strength. As Golisopod goes with the Shadow Sneak to thank Arctozolt for all its help. And it even gets the critical hit there. Electabuzz responds with the Water Gun, continuing to try and do damage to Sizzle. Let's hope that Arctozolt doesn't nullify that. As a Gunk Shot from Sizzle to Arctozolt. Massive hit there from Sizzle, and Arctozolt responds with the Acid Armor. It's going to boost its defenses here. Very slow play there by Arctozolt. And speaking of slow, Golisopod does the exact opposite and goes with the Agility. It's going to boost its speed here. Golisopod should move faster than everybody, but not as quick as Electabuzz, who goes with the Power Split, splitting its power, sharing its power with Golisopod, who sets up an electric terrain, which is actually going to benefit the electric type Pokemon of the Lumiose Lightning. We'll see if they can capitalize, as Sizzle is about to move next, but that electric current will run across the field. And Sizzle goes with the Spore, but the electric current prevents it from going to sleep. Arctozolt sets up an Aqua Ring now, so it will be restoring health in between turns. This could be a good play by Arctozolt, who has taken the most damage in this matchup so far, and Electabuzz goes with the Speed Swap, which is actually going to benefit Sizzle, because Electabuzz is quicker than the Bug Steel Pokemon, and Sizzle immediately goes with the Waterfall onto Arctozolt, and Arctozolt holds on, and that static leaves Sizzle paralyzed, so it may not be able to move. As Golisopod goes with the Aura Sphere, this should finish off Arctozolt, and Golisopod gets the job done with that super effective move. The Ice Electric type is taken down, and Electabuzz is joined by Rotom Heat, and Golisopod now setting up the Tailwind to make its side faster, which Sizzle needs considering it's paralyzed, but it doesn't get to take advantage as it can't move. Sizzle does avoid the Super Fang though, and Electabuzz going with the Pin Missile onto the Bug type. This isn't going to be very effective, but if it can get all 5 hits, and it definitely doesn't, it only gets 2, it does minimal damage. As Golisopod goes at the Payday, expecting to take some money from this matchup, goes for Electabuzz, good hit, and Sizzle follows up with the Low Kick onto Rotom, which does minimal damage, and Rotom responds with the Twister. And finally, Golisopod takes some damage as it's not very effective on Sizzle. And Electabuzz here setting up the Meteor Beam. It is going to boost its special attack here, and it will connect on the next turn unless it can get taken down. And an Eruption comes from Golisopod, which hits both Electabuzz and Rotom. Not very effective on Rotom, but they do try to take down Electabuzz, as the Icy Wind from Sizzle is also going to hit both electric types, but Electabuzz is still holding on. It should be able to finish off its move, as the speed is going to be lowered for Electabuzz and Rotom. Electabuzz needs to be taken off this field, as Rotom also goes for a 2-turn move, setting up a Skull Bash, boosting its defense there. And Electabuzz is going to go for the Meteor Beam. It should finish it here, going for Golisopod. A huge hit. Golisopod is eliminated with that super effective move. Golisopod is taken down. A wonderful hit there by Electabuzz, as that electric terrain does leave the field. And we have Pinsir coming out to join Scizor, and Pinsir immediately goes with the Howl. Is going to boost its attack stat here. This could be a good play. It also boosts the attack stat of Scizor, who goes with the Head Charge. I believe it should get some recoil damage from this, but that boosted attack should help Scizor. They're almost eliminating Rotom, and it does get the recoil damage, and Rotom responds with that Skull Bash, doing nowhere near as much damage as Scizor just did there. And Electabuzz goes with the Teleport, so it's immediately going to disappear from the field, and in its place comes its evolved form, Electivire. As Electivire immediately goes with the Low Kick onto Scizor and almost eliminates it. Scizor hanging on, as Pinsir sets up a Worry Seed onto Electivire, and is going to give it that ability of Insomnia, which will prevent it from going to sleep. And Rotom now going with the Bone Meringue onto Pinsir. Multi-hit move here, as it hits twice. It's got 2 hits, not very effective though, and only gets the 2 strikes. Scizor flings its Leper Berry now at Rotom, and Rotom has barely any damage done to it with that move, and just eats that Leper Berry in front of Scizor, as Electivire goes with the Leaf Tornado onto Pinsir. Not very effective on the Bug type there. the Will-O-Wisp from Pinsir will be avoided by Rotom, who goes for the skill swap with Pinsir, so they will switch their abilities. So Pinsir's Moxie now goes to Rotom, and which is a very good ability to steal away from that bug type. Sizzle can't move due to its paralysis, and Electivire sets up a defend order. But Pinsir, who is almost at full strength, losing that Moxie so early into this matchup, it wants that boosted attack stat. This Pinsir now goes with the Shell Side Arm and takes Rotom out, and that is the benefit of stealing that Moxie from Pinsir. It doesn't get the attack boost now, as Sizzle continues to be paralyzed, but it is still in this field, and Electivire comes back out with just a little bit of health left as well, but immediately goes with the Bullet Punch onto Pinsir, chipping away at the bug type there, and Electivire is going to follow it up with the Magic Powder. Is going to add the Psychic typing to Sizzle, having its type change there. Pinsir with the Sunny Day. If somebody could go for another Solar Beam in this matchup, it would only take one turn. Sizzle going with the Hex. We've already seen two multi-turn moves so far in this matchup, and Electivire is now going with the Hyper Beam. And massive, Pinsir is taken down with that huge Hyper Beam attack. Pinsir is eliminated. Very good play there by Electivire, and Electivire going with the curse there, as Sizzle is still in this matchup. It is still hanging on. I don't know how, but it continues to be paralyzed, and again it cannot move, as it is joined by Orbeetle, the Psychic bug type. Electivire is having to recharge. Orbeetle goes with the Flame Charge and goes for Electivire, so opts not to take down Electivire, who's also just hanging on by a thread. And Electivire goes with the multi-attack onto Sizzle. This should eliminate it, and it does. Sizzle is finally taken down out of this matchup, and in its place comes Heracross, as Lumiose Lightning take the lead. Orbeetle goes with the Harden. It's going to boost its defense stats here. And Electivire goes with the Bolt Strike. Impressive looking move onto Heracross. Huge damage onto Heracross there. Being welcomed to the field, and it responds with a Home Clause, so it's going to boost its attack as well as its accuracy. That accuracy being boosted should be huge if it can go for the right move. Electivire, though, going with the Nuzzle onto Orbeetle. It's going to leave it with a Paralysis. Doesn't do much damage, but that Paralysis we've already seen can have huge effects in the matchup. And Electivire goes with the Octazooka, following up, going for Orbeetle as well. Orbeetle having its accuracy lowered, as a court change does fail from Heracross, and Orbeetle going with the Burning Jealousy, and finally Electivire is taken down. You have to think Electivire is not going to be happy having seen that, and goes with the Liquidation, responding to Orbeetle immediately. Not a very good hit though, but it does continue to lower Orbeetle's defense, as that Sunlight does fade. No one takes advantage of it whilst it is on the field. 3 Pokemon down on both sides as Toxtricity comes out in the field, and Heracross goes with the U-turn. It's going to go back to the bench, but what a hit on Electivire there by the Fighting Bug type. And in its place comes Volcarona. Volcarona can do a lot in this matchup, you have to think. Look forward to seeing Volcarona and Electivire go head-to-head, see if they can do any damage to each other. That coaching from Toxtricity onto Electivire, boosting its stats there, as a Yawn from Orbeetle does make Toxtricity drowsy. And Electivire now going with the Poison Fang onto Orbeetle. What a hit! Orbeetle gets huge damage done, as Volcarona wastes its turn with that Moonlight, and Trop Kick onto Orbeetle. Orbeetle having its attack stat now low. It is still hanging on though, and it responds with a Stone Edge onto Electivire. Minimal damage. Electivire going with the Ingrain. This is a very good play. With such little health, it plants those roots. It is going to restore its health. This could be very beneficial. And Toxtricity is asleep on the field now, as Volcarona goes with a Smart Strike. This is not going to miss, and it goes for Electivire and does minimal damage. Not very effective. Electivire is still hanging on. Orbeetle needs to take it down, going with the Cross Chop. Instead, going for the Sleeping Toxtricity, which also not very effective. This allows Electivire to go with the Crab Hammer onto Volcarona, and it's a one-hit wonder as we get our first time warning of this matchup. Volcarona is taken down huge by Electivire. What a hit, as Electivire continues to restore health. And back onto the field comes Heracross, who immediately uses Stockpile, but I cannot believe a one-hit wonder from Electivire onto Volcarona. Volcarona having zero positive impact in this matchup for the Swarm. As Toxtricity wakes up and goes for the Dual Pack onto Orbeetle. Super effective. You have to think that would have been better to go for Heracross there. Surely would have eliminated it, as we get our second time warning. And the Sand Tomb from Electivire there does Bailout, but does restore more health. The Sweet Kiss is avoided by Toxtricity from Heracross, and Toxtricity responds with a Present onto Heracross. Heracross barely hanging on, but Electivire goes with the Smog and finishes it off and gives the win to the Lumiose Lightning. A strong finish there by the electric types, absolutely wiping out the Sandalwood Swarm. Volcarona, very disappointing showing. This is going to leave Sandalwood Swarm in 18th place all by their lonesome. Let's see if they can do better next week against the Surchester Frost, whereas the Lumiose Lightning move up to equal 9th. Next week they have the Heartome Haunts, but in our next matchup it is the Humilau Cascade facing off against the New Morville Devils. I do look forward to that matchup. But until then, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw here, please leave a like, share, subscribe. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field and why it definitely was not Volcarona. That was so disappointing. I can't believe that happened. But more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I will see you when you see me.